Meet Vito Catafo, a man with a grand plan.
I'm going to open a British restaurant in Italy.
After months of searching and heartache, he's found the perfect property for his new business. But that's just the beginning. Vito knows that if he's going to succeed, he'll have to dish up the finest grub Great Britain has to offer. And his quest for the best has already paid handsomely.
Great Britain takes over!
This week, he'll be fishing for more success as he crosses the border to Scotland.
Whoa!
To reel in a succulent salmon fit for royalty.
Look at that!
Back in Italy, he'll be putting his British food on trial against a jury of picky local punters.
Bravo, bravo!
È squisita. Non posso parlare.
Introducing his new Italian staff to the new British menu.
Roast beef con Yorkshire pudding.
That's it.
I love that.
Okay, then.
And trying desperately to keep his dreams on track as his restaurant renovations start to spiral out of control.
I'm shelling out, making sure they get paid. Doesn't seem to make any difference. I mean, this is just a disaster.
After 18 months of blood, sweat and tears, trying to turn his British dream into a reality, Vito's finally hurtling towards the grand opening of his restaurant. Trouble is, with just 2 days before his first customers are due to arrive, the restaurant is still very much work in progress.
The builders have actually done the tile work, but it's the main canopy that needs to go in. Then you've got the air conditioning, which those guys are working on. Then all the plastering is yet to be completed. The toilets have still to be completed downstairs. So there's so much work to be done. These guys are not working at the speed of light. You know, they're just not. Looks very serious because we just don't have the equipment in place.
As the penultimate morning arrives, so does his new restaurant manager, Sabina, bearing his advert in the local newspaper, a timely reminder of the deadline that does nothing to calm Vito's nerves.
Bravo, bello.
In Bologna, a new concept to restaurant.
Beautiful.
With the advert in and the date announced, there's no possibility of postponing the opening without losing face.
Now we can't. We definitely can't, because it's already on the newspaper. And if it's on the newspaper, you can't.
Vito's hired her to be his right-hand woman at the restaurant, and she's already impressed his better half, Margarita.
She's good. He's done really well. She speaks English. She's really focused. And I think Vito's a little bit frightened of her, actually. Quite bossy as well. But she's very, very focused. And I think if anyone can get this place going forward for her, you know, with obviously guidance from Vito, she will. She's very focused. I think she's great. And we get on really, really well.
Unsurprisingly, Vito's starting to feel the heat.
Questo costa 1.000 euro. Porta roba per terra. Io non posso lavorare così.
If Vito's to stand a chance of opening on time, he has to get his team of Italian builders moving. Things are getting serious, so he decides to call in extra Italian muscle in the shape of his architect, Luca.
The situation with Luca is that I summoned him here this morning and said, look, Luca, we're not going anywhere. You know, these guys, these contractors that you've employed, they're just not producing results. You've got to come down here and I can kick some ass or you can, you know, I don't mind. You tell this gentleman and he'll take the stuff away because otherwise we won't have space.
You take them out, okay.
Yeah, okay. Luca, you organise it.
Okay.
Thank you, Luca.
Finally, things start to move.
We are in a tight schedule right now, so we're trying to do things which are supposed to be done in different times. We're doing everything all together, so it's gonna be done. We'll see.
Whilst Vito is battling to get his restaurant into shape behind the scenes, his other half, Margarita, is off on a mission to sort out the front of house. Well, that's what she's telling Vito anyway. Kitting out a new restaurant from scratch is a huge job. It can seat 96 people. That means Vito needs 1,000 knives, 1,000 forks and 1,000 spoons, as well as 250 individual salt and pepper pots. Margarita's dealing with the essentials.
Can I help you? Yes, I like the British flag chairs. Can you tell me how much?
Yes, this chair costs 370 euros.
They are perfect for what we need, actually. We do need these chairs. When I talk to the boss, we'll see what he says.
Of course.
Really comfy as well.
So, that's 2 chairs down, only another 96 to go, and of course, 50 pepper grinders, 5,000 plates and 25,000 serviettes. It's 11 o'clock on Wednesday, but as the morning rears its head, it leaves a dark cloud over the restaurant. It's due to open tonight. It even says so in the local paper, but all is not well.
We should be opening tonight, but we're not going to. We're just so far behind schedule, you know, there's nothing happening. It's just, you know, there's another coffin. Another coffin just going out. One of the workers, you know, dead. Boxes round him. And I should have tables and chairs and napkins and everything looking fantastic. But I haven't. So how do you expect me to feel? Happy? Of course I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. Look, I've still got holes in the ground. You know, we're supposed to be opening tonight. I look at it tonight, it should have been my night. But it's not going to happen. It's Italians, the Italians, you know, they're not organised. We're still painting, decorating, installing, and making noises like that, which I don't want to hear. Paint on the floor.
With Vito's plans to open today in tatters, the invited VIP guests have to be told the big launch is now tomorrow. To add to his woes, outside, the new waiting staff have turned up ready for training and to set the tables up. But with chaos still reigning inside, there's nowhere else for them to go. Vito has flown over his restaurant manager Amador from the UK to oversee them, and it's not a great start to his mission.
Right, guys. Sorry to keep you waiting. Unfortunately, the builders haven't finished, as you can see, so there's still quite a lot to be done. So until then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be sending you home, and instead of having a break later on, I'm going to send you home now, and then you come back about 2 o'clock. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. I'll see you then at 2 o'clock, yeah?
With the problems mounting, Vito is in a reflective mood.
Here I am on the eve of opening the business tomorrow night, and we still don't have the premises ready. I'm worried, is the honest truth, deep down. I really am worried. And that's, the, if you like, the negative side, but then I've got this also very aggressive side of me that says, so what? Because you're going to make it. It's going to be a fantastic success. You're going to prove to a lot of people that, you know, what you believe in is going to work. And that side of me is what's keeping me going.
With the builders finally clearing the floor, Amador's staff can get to work transforming the restaurant into Vito's vision.
It's still looking very sparse, and we're now only, you know, some like less than 10, 12 hours away from launch. So, and there's still a lot to be done. A lot to be done.
Vito's got everything riding on this, and time is running out.
We're evaluating what's happening on an hour-by-hour basis.
Next, he'll be doing some market research.
She can't talk because it's so exquisite. She can't talk. She's lost for words.
And finding out that tracking down the king of fish can be a sticky business. Vito's quest to find the best of British ingredients wouldn't be complete without trying to hook one of the UK's most exclusive products. He's taking the high road to Dumfries and Galloway in the stunning southwest of Scotland, on the hunt for some of the best smoked salmon in the world. Over 1 million Scottish smoked salmon meals are eaten in the UK every week, and the Scottish salmon business is worth £1 billion a year. Vito thinks it's time the Italians got a taste of it.
Now, the Italians don't have a history of making smoked salmon, so I really believe that we're going to have a winner on the menu.
Ruby and Vincent Marr are a husband and wife team who live and breathe their work. Unusually, they're involved in the process from catching to delivering it to our plates. Vincent's skills as a master smoker and Ruby's talents for creating unique flavours of the fish have made a dish which has been enjoyed by everyone, from customers at Michelin-starred restaurants all the way to the Queen herself. In order for Vito to appreciate the work that goes into their salmon, they've invited him to follow the process, starting right at the source, through curing and smoking, and all the way onto the plate. So, it's time to pull on a pair of waders and get stuck in.
Good afternoon, Vincent. How are you?
Fine, yourself.
It's not easy work. The pools of the estuary where the salmon gather as they come in from the sea are surrounded by moving quicksands. So Vito has to follow Ruby and be very, very careful where he stands.
Okay, let me go. Let me go.
The clay pools of the estuary where the salmon are found may be muddy, but they do say, where there's muck, there's brass. Vincent uses a technique called net and cobble fishing. The skill is to know the tides and locations of the hidden pools where the salmon collect. He learned the technique of net and cobble from his father. The net has floats on the top and is weighted on the bottom. Ruby keeps hold of one end and Vincent rows round in a long loop and then back to shore, feeding the net out and hoping to encircle and trap any salmon inside. Now all they have to do is pull the net in and reap the rewards.
We haven't got anything here, Vincent.
I think so.
There's nothing there, Chef.
Nothing there today.
Well, that's usually what happens, but today it looks like the salmon have other ideas. With the tide rushing in, it's too dangerous to try again, and Vito is forced to abandon ship. The mud may be having the last word, but there's no time to wallow about the one that got away.
Take my... Here, here's my shoulder.
In the smokehouse just up from the estuary, Vincent has some stunning salmon that was slightly more cooperative.
This salmon is superior grade, low-fat, low-oil fish, purely for smoking. Right, so what I'm going to do is fillet this fish now. But the important thing to get your proper fillet is taking the fins off first. Now I'm going to split the fish. You just let it slide, and it just slides along the top of the bone, right to the tail.
Beautiful.
Slide the knife through again, and just slide the knife along the top of the bone.
So you're looking at how much you can afford to cut?
Yes.
Without losing anything?
Without losing it. If you put salt in that, you can imagine the salt can't penetrate through that because it's got a cover, it's got skin in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really losing that much.
And that would be uncomfortable to eat, surely?
Oh, absolutely, you couldn't eat that because there's a lot of bones in it and stuff. Even to look at that, you know, you just want to eat it literally as it is like that because the qualities just look so good.
People are under a great misconception about smoked salmon. They all believe that the salmon is actually cooked in the smoking kiln.
What actually happens is the salmon is cured by covering it in a layer of salt for 2 days. This draws the water out of the fish, killing any harmful bacteria inside and effectively cooking the salmon. Spreading the salt on top of the salmon and taking the water out rather than adding to it creates a firmer fish.
Once the fish have been salted and cured, it actually becomes edible.
After curing, it's on to the smoking process. Ruby and Vincent run the smokery single-handed. This is where Ruby's skills come into their own. She's in charge of creating the mix that will make the smoke, which will help flavour the fish. A metal drawer is packed with sawdust chipped from old whiskey barrels.
The whiskey flavour is right through the sawdust.
And that's important?
Very important, very important.
There's quite a pungent smell.
There is, very, very.
Next, Ruby and Vincent add their special ingredients on top of the whiskey barrel sawdust. The mixture must burn slowly to supply a constant and steady source of smoke.
This, Vito, is our whiskey and juniper mix. Smell this? What can you smell? Smell the junipers? It's really got a lovely gin fragrance.
Yeah.
This is what's going to dampen his dry mix down in the drawers and keep a smoulder instead of a burning flame in the kiln.
But this is unique again, surely, because I've never seen this.
Yeah, whiskey and juniper mix. It's a perfect mix for us for our smoked salmon.
Finally, the drawer is put into a specially designed smoking box and lit. As the contents of the drawer burns, the spirit in the wood and the juniper berries flavour the smoke, which is absorbed by the fish.
Whoa!
The curing process has already made the salmon safe to eat. The smoke around the fish is cold and doesn't cook it at all. But over 2 days, it's absorbed by the salmon to give Ruby and Vincent's product a totally unique, mouth-watering taste.
Oh, they're superb, aren't they?
I'll just smoulder over that for nearly 18 hours.
And people just don't realise they thought it was the smoking that cooked it.
Industrially produced salmon usually spends less time in contact with the smoke, so what's created here really is something special.
It's so, the colour, everything about it, it's exactly the same at the bottom as it is at the top. Chefs love it because they can work with it, they can make things with it. A lot of salmons are oily and break up.
Thank you, Mary.
Give me your opinion of that. It's the texture, the flavour. It's hold it in your mouth.
First of all, it just dissolves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, for Malteser it just dissolves.
It just dissolves.
There's no bite.
There's nothing there that you have to fight with it, okay?
No.
And secondly, there is an aroma, you know, that you could just...
That's
it is
the juniper.
special.
That's the juniper kicking in.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the aftertaste that it gives you all round the palate.
Yes, I must congratulate both of you.
Thank
That
you.
is the best.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Grazie molte. Having tasted the smoked salmon, every Italian will just be queuing up. It's a winner. It's a winner.
If you want to find out more about fantastic British food and recipes, log on to channel4.com/food. Vito may be totally won over by Ruby and Vincent's salmon, but if the Italians won't bite, then his dreams may be left sleeping with the fishes. So he's taking salmon, cheddar cheese, condiments and British bangers to a Bologna food market to see how they go down with the locals.
Bologna is recognised as certainly the food culture centre of Europe. It's a very hard nut to crack. We're going to offer the best of British foods that we have here to our exhibitor friends and also the general public.
This is where some of the finest and freshest of Italian produce is sold fortnightly. The fussiest Italians come here to buy their food. Despite delays and disasters at the restaurant, Vito spots a great marketing opportunity. Vito, his Italian restaurant manager Sabina and his fiancée Margherita really want to put the food through its paces. Importing the best of British from the UK will be costly, so Vito needs to be sure that it's going to make him a profit. So they've come up with a cunning plan.
The plan is that we're going to be putting out ploughman's lunches. We're going to have sausages, the best pork sausages. We're going to have some steak sandwiches with some nice mustards and the cheddar cheese sandwiches as well. And we're going to ask the Italian public to let us know what they're prepared to pay for what we're offering today. Buongiorno. Poco di pesca.
Oh, sì, grazie.
Scottish smoked
Parla
salmon.
inglese?
Good, good. I want.
So it's worth
Pay.
€10. Fantastic. Thank you very
Primo
much.
provo. Delicante.
Suave. Sì.
The taste of the cheese. Ho lasciato il sordo.
It's really good. I like it very much.
Dimmi.
Buono. A me piace poi la fondicata al salmone. Buono.
Enjoy it?
Very good.
You say that it's perfect.
What's our friendship?
What do you think to our Scottish smoked salmon?
Oh, I think if my daughter was here, everything was gone immediately.
Bravo, bravo.
Exquisita.
Exquisite. She can't talk because it's so exquisite. She can't talk. She's lost for words.
After try, they say, not bad. You know, like, oh my God, I thought it was English food, not really good. But at the end, they changed their mind and they say, oh, it's good. I like this. And one lady come twice to me and say, can I have more of this sauce? Because I like, what is this? Farmhouse pickles.
The British food may have gone down a storm, but did the Italians let their wallets do the talking, or was it all lip service?
How much?
There's about 130 euros.
My reaction to that, this was a fantastic success because everybody enjoyed the food.
With the residents of Bologna showing they are willing to pay for good British grub, Vito and his team walk away from the market reassured that they have a winning formula.
Italian people do want something different. British food, that's what he came here to do, so let's do it, you know. To me, it's given me loads of confidence. And I just like to see something British, totally British here. And all these people are dying to come to this British restaurant anyway.
We have really won them over. Those sausages are immaculate. There was absolutely positiveness coming out of their brains. People saying they were delicious, they're exquisite. They were using words that, you know, Michelin-star restaurateurs use. And I was so pleased with that. And that goes to say that the product's absolutely quality.
Vito and Sabina have to finalise the prices and tweak the dishes they hope will bowl the Italians over.
I think on the menu we need to show we are British because we are different. We can sell to you something really different. Roast beef con Yorkshire pudding.
That's it.
I love that.
Okay then, the fillet steak, Sabina, is exquisite.
Prawn cocktail.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. How much have you got that for?
I put on 8:30. Sorry, 8:50.
Yeah, then it's too much. We go 7.
Why all the time you cut all the price?
Well, the essence of a good restaurant is to make sure that we have very competitive prices with the best quality, so the customer has no complaint.
Finally, after 18 months and just 1 day late, the restaurant is virtually finished. Three months ago, this place was an old Italian husk. Now Vito has transformed it into a vision of great British splendour.
Opening a British restaurant with a British menu in Italy for the first time in the centre of the food culture of Europe. Man, you've got to be pretty crazy. But, you know, you've got to have your senses about you and you've got to make sure that the British produce, you know, the best beef and all the items that we're going to have on the menu are going to deliver, because that's all we can do at the end of the day.
Next time, Vito gears up for the biggest day of his life, the grand opening.
This is it! This is what we've all been waiting for. This is the one.
He heads to Scotland to sniff out a great Scotch whisky.
That looks absolutely...
heavenly.
23.
And after 18 months of battling, Vito finally throws open his doors to the Italian public.
Yes!
Well, don't forget that you can catch up on Dolce Vito by viewing 4OD on channel4.com. Next tonight, a bold experiment in survival. An adventurous cameraman is dropped in Canada's Yukon to be alone in the wild.